Feels great to be back on the Mad River for segment 2 of my 2025 section paddle. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jason. I've been kayaking the Mad River for 7 years now. It's my hometown river, and this is going to be my 4th entire through paddle, but I'm doing it in sections this time since 2018. So I like to go kayak camping in my spare time, and the Mad River is close to home, and when I'm busy on the farm and need a quick getaway, the Mad River is my go-to river. Thanks for joining me today. As you can see out here, the water is a little murky. Looks a little bit like chocolate milk. We had some heavy rains yesterday. Water levels are up a couple feet, which is making for some fast-moving water, which is pretty exciting. And when I arrived to US Route 36, where I put in today, it dawned on me that I forgot my life jacket. So probably not the best time to be on a fast-moving, swollen river without my PFD. But it is what it is. I wasn't going to turn around and drive home for a half hour just to grab it. So I'm just going to be very careful and not do anything stupid, and enjoy the beautiful sunshine that has finally made an appearance. It has been cold and cloudy all day since this cold front blew in last night and gave us probably an inch of rain. I don't know, I didn't have a gauge out, but it was hot and dry until yesterday. We were 80 degrees. It would have been the perfect time to come out on the Mad River, but I was busy farming. I'm a produce farmer. I raise vegetables, so I was out working in my greenhouses and in the fields. But today is Saturday, and after this rain, I can't get out in the field, so I decided to come out here and enjoy the Mad River for an overnighter. Thanks for joining me. Well, I have encountered my first bad situation here. We're completely blocked all the way across the river. This is just about a quarter mile below State Route 55. Water's moving pretty fast right there, and I can't touch. So I'm going to sneak through here. It's only a couple feet deep. I think a big tree fell right here, and it's all just blocked up. It's a big old mess. That looks a little dangerous right there. So I'm gonna go through there. Here's another look at what I'm dealing with. Complete river blockage. First time I've ever seen this on this section. Luckily I have this little channel through here behind this giant root ball, and it's kind of shallow right there and easy to get out. And I think I can squirt through here. Someone has been through here and cut these branches, thankfully, this honeysuckle or whatever it is, and I can't touch right there. That is deep. So I'm gonna pull my kayak through here and set it in there, and hopefully I can just climb right in and continue on. Woo! I just got through. That's kind of difficult. Definitely a little bit harder to maneuver in this bigger 12-foot kayak. I will give you a look at this kayak once I find camp tonight. But I'm not in my Perception Hook 10.5. After 5 years, I have finally decided to buy a brand new kayak. Can't wait to show you all what it is. I got my miles pulled up right here on my phone right now. We're going to be going by Tremont City Road here in a little bit, then Eagle City Road a few miles after that, and then just a few miles further than that is State Route 41 in Springfield. So that is where I may be getting picked up by my wife tomorrow. I just don't know how far I'm going to go yet. I would consider going all the way down to Mad River Adventures, 4 to 5 miles beyond that. I just don't know if my wife can get in there to pick me up, since they are closed until probably Memorial Weekend. I'm guessing that's when they open up. And I don't think I have the owner's cell phone number. I'll have to check. If I do, maybe I'll call him up and see if my wife can pick me up there. That would be a good distance for this section here. I don't know where I'm going to camp tonight. I have a couple ideas, but I will definitely let you know when I get there where that spot is, in case you want to also stay in that same location if you're ever on the Mad River for an overnight. So in this section paddle for 2025, I plan to do the Mad River in 3 segments instead of 4 like I did last year. So thankfully the water's up a little bit and helping me make some good time downriver, and that'll make part 3 a little easier for me. So I'm just glad to be out here and away from the farm for a day. If it hadn't rained last night, I probably wouldn't be able to be out here doing this. I would be getting things ready for laying plastic mulch on our raised beds for planting our vegetables here in 2.5 weeks. It's been quite a while since I've been on the Mad River when the water was up this much. It's only like 2 feet higher than normal, but that eliminates any little sandbars that you usually see along the edge. So it's very difficult to stop once you get going on the Mad River. As you can see, there are steep banks on the left side of the river. It'd be almost impossible to take out. The right side's not so bad right now. And I know we have a creek flowing in to the Mad River just up ahead here, at a mile or two, at Tremont City maybe, that I've camped at before. But it still wouldn't be easy getting out on the right. I just feel like when the water's up like this, you are committed to staying on the water for quite a while, because there are not very many easy takeout spots, but I will point them out when I see them. We're coming up on the spot I camped at a couple years ago. Oh my, there ain't nothing there, it's all underwater. I'll throw a pickup right now of this campsite. I mean, you can still camp there, you just have to go further up in there. But I was camping over in here. My campfire was like right there. Yeah, that'd still be a good spot. And I think up there in the trees, I remember seeing a little campsite. That spot right there is about a 1/4 mile south of West County Line Road. Next up will be Tremont City here in another mile or two. Looks like we've got a fresh tree down up ahead. This wouldn't be a bad camping spot right here. Nice gravel bar, big stones though. Check out that erosion. The Mad River is eating its way into that farm field. Another great spot for camping. Not so much for hammocks, but great for tents if you can get by with the big stones. There's a couple geese hanging out. Getting ready to cross under Tremont City Road. I have taken out here before. It's a little difficult because of these big rocks over here by the pillars, but you are able to drag it up right there. It's not too bad. And there's a nice parking area up there in the grass. So the Tremont City Road put in and take out is private property, but I have left the vehicle there overnight. There's a nice grassy area and no one ever bothered my truck. We have a little creek flowing into the Mad River right here with a little sandbar. No firewood, but you could make some camping happen right there, I think. Yeah, not too bad. So we just entered a section of river that is owned by the city of Springfield. You probably can't see that there. Maybe you can now. This is Onyx Hunt app. Tells you all the property owners. That's how I know where I can camp. So for the next couple miles, we are in City of Springfield property. There's no private ownership of property for the next few miles, even beyond Eagle City Road's coming up next, and even beyond Eagle City Road. So when it comes to kayak camping on Ohio rivers, it's tough because private landowners own to the center of the river. So the second you step out of your kayak on private property, you're actually trespassing when you touch the riverbed. Not when you're floating on the water, but when you step out and touch the riverbed, you're trespassing. So I tried to find city, state, county land when I camp along the riverbanks. Even though it might not be legal, at least you're not trespassing on private property. So when I was planning this trip last night, this was an impromptu trip. I just started planning it last night. I was going to self-shuttle. So I was gonna hide my kayak up at US 36 near Urbana, where I started, and then drive my truck and my bicycle down to where I thought I was going to take out in Springfield, near State Route 41 on West 1st Street by the overpass. And it was going to be a 16-mile bike ride back up to 36. And about half of it, I was going to be able to take the Simon Kenton Trail bike path. So it would have worked out pretty good. But my wife said she was happy to come and pick me up, and this will allow me to continue on further than that location, because I'm only 2.5 miles away from it. Yeah, less than 3 miles from where I thought I was going to take out. I'm already 9.5 miles in, so we're making good progress. And we're coming up on Eagle City Road. Is this it? Yeah, we are at Eagle City Road. Check it out. It just looks a little different right now because the water's up. Usually there's a big sandbar, gravel bar right here under the bridge, and your yak won't float away. You could actually stage it right there. This is a great takeout. There's a huge parking area right up there. A couple people up there right now. So I've used this parking area for my overnights before, and even last year I Ubered to this location. So a lot of times I do self-shuttle. I've only used my bike once. A couple times I've actually jogged when I was into training for trail races, and I've used an Uber numerous times as well. There's a fishing line hanging up in the tree. So yeah, this is close enough to Springfield and Dayton that you can easily get an Uber to start at Eagle City Road. All right, it is 5:30 p.m. and I am ready to find camp. I'm starting to get a little chilly. The sun is kind of buried in the clouds, and I can feel the chill in the air a little bit. So as soon as I can find a suitable place to set up camp, I will be stopping and getting a campfire started, because I have some awesome food to cook tonight. All right, I may have found home for tonight. It's a beautiful gravel bar. Not a bunch of giant stones. It's kind of small pebbles. We even got some sand right here. Yeah, this is gorgeous. Good place to fly the drone, set up the tent. Looks like I got some driftwood over here. This is good. Perfectly coated and ready to fry up in some butter over the fire. I need to get a new pan. I got room for about 4 in there, and that's it. This is a salt and pepper and paprika mixture. First 4 are done. Came out a little blacker than normal, but that's all right. They're not really burnt. They're just charred a little bit. I'm gonna make another batch of 4 real quick. So I just take a little bit of brown sugar. It's kind of clumpy, so I'm gonna have to break it up and spread it around. I normally do this once in the pan, but these were done. But I'll do it for the other ones. All right, the next set is done. Man, this brown sugar is hard. It must be getting old. Just chop it up and spread it around, I guess. When you cook stuff like this over the campfire, nothing ever quite goes according to plan or looks that great. But as long as it tastes good, that's what matters. All right, I'll let that brown sugar caramelize on there just a bit, and they will be ready for the goat cheese. All right, I'm getting hungry. It's time to finish these things off. And my goat cheese is not gonna come out very well. It's getting soft. Usually it's a bunch of crumbles. There we go. And the final ingredient to top these off, horseradish sauce. Just gonna throw a dollop onto each one. There we go. It might not look the greatest, but it's gonna taste great. First fried green tomatoes of 2025. Really good. This is just the appetizer. The main course is coming up next. All right, it got dark on me, guys. Here's my scallops. Let's melt this butter. I was planning on making these scallops like an hour ago, but I ended up going live on YouTube and I was on there for like 45 or 55 minutes. So it got dark on me, but at least the fire's still going and these things should cook up in just a few minutes. They're still a little bit froze. Some of them are. Scallops don't take very long to cook. Man, I almost think I can get them all in there. All right. It's completely dark out now. I should have done this earlier so you could see what I was doing. They're done and they're on my Frisbee plate right here. You probably can't see it. I got my headlamp shining right in my face. Let's give one a shot. Oh gosh, it's peppery. Oh my goodness, that is so good. I feel like I'm eating at a seafood restaurant in Florida. Man, a lot easier to eat than a steak too. This was a good choice. I'm glad I tried this and I'll probably do it again. It makes me realize how much I would enjoy fish over the fire. It makes me really want to start kayak fishing, doing some catch and cooks. So that's going to be something new I'm going to try to incorporate into my channel for this coming September when I do my Michigan trips. I want to see if I can catch some salmon or trout to be able to do a catch and cook video. I think they turned out pretty good. They taste like they're done just right too. it's gonna be a beautiful day. We got a fisherman out here, and he just hooked one.
This isn't the one.
All right, what do you want me to do? I want to help him net this. Is it a trout?
Yeah, brown trout. Big.
Oh, there we go. We got him. Oh man, that's a nice one.
That's a big fish.
Was it about 16 incher?
Probably, I'd say so. Yeah,
Nice.
I'll
Wow.
get a good release for you. That's not even the fish. I hooked a monster in here last week.
That's amazing. Right here in the same area.
Yeah, right here.
Was the water way down last week though?
It was a lot more down than what it was now.
Yeah.
I fish this a lot, but yeah, I was crossing the river earlier. I actually fell in. I went for a swim earlier. It was cold, dude.
Well, nice catch.
Do you mind to get a picture of this for me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man.
I'll take a couple. Uh-oh.
Dude, they're so fun, yeah.
Got it.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Get back in there. Thank you so much, man. That was
Beautiful fish. Do you catch anything besides brown trouts? Do you ever catch?
There's really only brown trout in here. There's big carp.
Okay. No rainbows?
There are no rainbows.
Okay.
No. I think they used to stock them with those, but the brown reproduce naturally in here.
Okay, nice. What's your name?
Nathan.
Nathan.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Nathan.
Sorry, my hand's
Yep,
wet.
that's all right.
Thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome. That big sandbar right there is one I was looking at on Google Earth last night. A lot more big stones and not much driftwood right there. I think I made a good choice. So when I woke up this morning and peered out of my tent for the first time, I noticed there was a fisherman like 50 yards away from me fishing the river on the same sandbar where I camped. And I didn't realize there was access to that sandbar where I set up camp. But come to find out, he had parked at Eagle City Road, and it was less than a half-mile walk to that sandbar to where I was at. So that gives you an idea where I camped at, just below Eagle City Road, probably a half mile. It's a beautiful trout. Man, I would love to catch something like that while out here on one of these rivers to do a catch and cook. He makes his own flies, so that was pretty cool. Thank you, Nathan, for asking me to help out with that. I'm glad I got some video footage of that, and it's really nice meeting you, and thanks for all the info on Michigan rivers. Crossing under St. Paris Pike. There's actually some steps over there. Definitely not an easy takeout, but you could do it in a pinch. What do we have here? Maybe this little spot will work. Nice little spit of gravel with a stream flowing in, and some nice driftwood right there. This might be my breakfast spot. Let's go check it out. This is the spot. Look at all this nice small driftwood that's good and dry for starting a fire. Some more scattered out here. I'm gonna build my fire right here and cook me some breakfast because I'm starving. Unfortunately, I was out of red potatoes, so I'm using this russet potato. I'm sure it'll be just fine. potatoes and onions are ready to fry up. But first, I need to fry up some sausage. Got my 2 patties ready for the fire. Hopefully I got enough coals. I think I do. Looking good. All right, sausage is done. Don't have anywhere to put it, so I'm just gonna set it right here. While I'm waiting for those potatoes and onions to cook, I'm gonna try me some sausage. Man, that hits the spot. Some salt and pepper and paprika. All right, potatoes and onions are done. Four farm fresh eggs. I think we'll scramble them up today. A pinch of salt, pepper, and paprika. All right, eggs are about done. Onto the Frisbee plate with everything else. And to top off today's breakfast, a little bit of Tabasco. And ketchup. Nothing like breakfast Riverside. And it's better than normal because of the Tabasco and the ketchup. Usually it's a little bit on the dry side. I'm glad I remember those condiments. With a little bit of sand on the side. All right, I wanted to give you guys a look at my brand new kayak up close here. This is the Bonafide EX 123, the Expedition. This is a 12-foot kayak with a removable seat. So there's a little bungee cord strap that holds it down, and you just lift it out. And it's like a little stadium seat. It's very comfortable. It's a little low to the ground for cooking around a campfire, but so comfortable in the kayak. So let's start up front. It's got these great, rigid, durable plastic handles. There is not a cargo hold in front, unfortunately. I wish there was a cargo hold right here, like in front of where your feet go, but there isn't, unfortunately. It just has this bungee cord strap that you can remove or keep items underneath that don't need to be kept dry. So that's the main downfall so far. I don't like that. Has a little storage area up here. This is where I keep my cell phone, my wallet, and glasses. 2 cup holders. This cup holder was thrown in by the owner. It's a wonderful cup holder, a lot deeper, much better than these. This whole piece can be removed, by the way, with just these 3 turn knobs. Not as much storage behind the seat as my Perception hook, but I can keep a few things back there. Way more room in front, so I can keep the cooler in front of my chair and just put my legs around it, and it's very comfortable. Love the adjustable foot pegs in there. A couple spots for fishing poles, and then the part I really like, this huge cargo area back here. About the same size as my Perception hook if I wanted to put more stuff on top, but I like this dry storage cargo space. I can fit all my gear in there without having to bring my backpack. And it has a foam seal around the outside, so it locks down fairly tight to keep things dry. If you dumped, water could get in there because you can see that doesn't fit really snug, but I could put another bungee cord over the top to really hold that thing down tight to make it completely waterproof. Another durable handle in the back. So far, I really love this kayak. I did a lot of reviews on this kayak before I purchased it. It was 1,100 bucks, 1,050 maybe, I forget. I've always wanted a 12-footer for more storage space for my long kayak camping trips and a little bit of a dry storage area. So I plan to do a full review on this kayak once I get some more miles under me. I'm 12 miles in on my first trial with this kayak. So far, I really like it. There's two things I don't like about it right off the bat. One, I feel like it doesn't track any better than my Perception hook, maybe even worse. But I think part of it is because that cargo storage area was so weighted down yesterday with gear, and you sit further back in the kayak than you do in a Perception. So you got this lightweight nose of the kayak with not a lot of weight in it, because most of it's in the back half, and I think that's causing it to not track. So I think there's something I can put underneath on the back to help it track better. It's not that bad. I just got to constantly correct it when it starts drifting left or right. I thought it would track a little bit better than that being a 12-footer, but that's not the case. And the other thing I don't like is this right here. That's sharp. I'm gonna put some kind of foam down there and attach it so it's easier to carry, because you know I like to carry my kayak. You see how that bends out, and it's just not able to be carried well unless you have a person at each end lifting it up, or a little cart or a dolly, or two people, and I'm often by myself, so got to do something about that. Even loading it in and out of the truck was a little more difficult because of those sharp edges and nowhere to really grab a hold of it when you're by yourself. But overall, I'm really liking this kayak and looking forward to trying it out on my Michigan kayak adventures coming up in September. Back on the water after a great breakfast. Actually, that was brunch. It's 11:30. Man, I slept in late, but it felt great. I'm almost to Springfield, State Route 41. My wife is leaving Bell Fountain right now, so she'll be here in 45 minutes. So I only got a couple more miles to go, and I'm gonna have to call it quits for today. I'm noticing the water clarity improving already. Just overnight, the water has went down several inches, and the water clarity is a little over a foot now. Still nothing like the normal Mad River, where you can see 4 feet down, crystal clear spring-fed water. But it is a river that quickly returns to its normal levels and clarity after a flood or after heavy rains. But it quickly rises and gets murky after a heavy rain. So it fluctuates quite a bit, unlike Michigan rivers. That's one of the things I really like about Michigan rivers. They almost always stay the same. They don't really rise or fall that much. Some do, but not all. All right, I'm gonna enjoy my final hour of paddling on this beautiful Sunday afternoon on the Mad River. Wow, this looks a lot different through here. The sandbar is extra large on the left, and on the right, it's almost non-existent. This is a popular camping spot right here, but it's been ruined by the flooding. Normally, where I'm paddling right now is sandbar, and there's not a steep ledge like that. And by the way, this is just past the railroad trestle. That's where I had to get out and pull the kayak through. We're almost to Route 41, just a couple more little turns. This is another gravel bar that I thought about camping at last year, but I didn't because there was a big group of people camping back there and I could hear them. I didn't want to listen to their noise all night. Here's the State Route 41 overpass in Springfield. There's also a rope swing right up there. I don't know if it's still there, but I partook in that rope swing back in 2018. Below this bridge right here on the left on this little sandbar is a popular hangout spot for local kids. This is actually my first time through here without seeing anybody here. It's a great spot to take out and put in. I see there's a couple of ropes right here. Right up there is West 1st Street, put in and take out. It's actually an official launch site. Some pretty nice looking graffiti. Another one behind me. I'm gonna stop here and evaluate where I can take out if I don't take out here. See how far my wife is. She's probably 20 minutes from being here, so it might not be wise for me to continue on down. I might be stopping here today. Well, unfortunately, I think this is where I'm gonna call it quits on this overnight journey. I was hoping to go on down river a little bit farther, but my wife is already a third of the way here, and the next decent takeout spot, I believe, is all the way down at Lower Valley Pike, 2.5 miles further downriver. And I kind of remember that one being a little difficult, so probably better not take my chances and try to go another 2.5 miles. I'm gonna take out here, and because my wife knows this location, so this is a perfect spot to call it quits. I will be back as soon as I can get away from the farm for another overnight, maybe even a 2-nighter, to complete the entirety of the Mad River all the way down to Deeds Point Metro Park in Dayton, where the Mad River flows into the Great Miami River. So here's a closer look at the State Route 41 put in and takeout on West 1st Street. Right down there at the end of this trail, there's a little fire pit where the locals always have fires and hang out, right where my tripod is. My kayak's right beside it on that little gravel bar. You have this nice little trail up here. I'll show you what it looks like up here, where the parking area is. On hot summer weekends, there'll be cars parked all along here on both sides. They can get fairly busy. Well, folks, thank you so much for coming along and joining me on this quick little overnight adventure on the Mad River. I always have a fantastic time camping and cooking along its banks, and already looking forward to tackling the next section. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you all again next time on another outdoor adventure.